Hello and welcome to the Ravens, a One Tree Hill podcast. I'm Simon and I love One Tree Hill. Dom is going to be in here soon, but we are honored tonight to have the legend that is Barbara Alyn Woods. Barbara, thank you so much and welcome to the podcast.
So excited to be here. I feel like I've been wanting to do this for so long, and here we are finally.
Well, it's pretty mind blowing and humbling for to have you here. It's amazing, and we've got so much to talk about. I mean, you're somewhere away, getting ready and filming something new that hopefully we can talk a little bit about. But we're going to sort of do this in reverse. So normally we would start about how you got into acting and sort of go through all of that and how you ended up in One Tree Hill. But we're going to start from after season 2 and go back to that when Dom joins, if that's okay.
Okay, that sounds good.
So you became a regular in like the second half of like season 1, going into season 2, right?
Well, okay, so here's the story. Um, I was on another show called American Dreams, and they had hired me on a recurring basis for that. And I I had a baby, Emily, my middle daughter, and maybe TMI, but you'll find out very soon that I'm just kind of like I kind of like put my world out there and I don't really have a filter. So I was nursing and I had this baby and I was working full time and I got this audition for One Tree Hill. And I thought, well, there's just no way. First of all, they're shooting in North Carolina. There's no way I can go with the baby or without the baby. I mean, I'm just like too stuck to my daughter. There's no way I can do this. I can't travel right now. And I'm on a show, so it's cool. So I had turned the audition down. And then over my lunch, I was um, shooting at American Dreams. Over lunch, I read the script. I read the audition sides. I didn't even read the entire script. I just read the sides. And there was this beautiful monologue, and I just fell in love with it instantly. And I thought, I've got to go in on this. And, you know, these days, a lot of actors are putting themselves on tape, um, which would have been easy enough to do. Like that night, get home from work, I'm already in hair and makeup, just put myself on tape. But then, I mean, you have to go in. And I was off the next day, and I thought, well, maybe this is a sign. Maybe I should go in on this. So I quickly put it in my brain, went in. It was only for the casting director, and it just felt right. It just felt so good. It just felt like it was a part of me. I don't know if that's ever happened to me before, reading a role. It just felt perfect. And I thought, okay, well, if this goes further, I'll just have to work it out. And it did go further. And then I heard that I was in the mix, meaning they had a few people they were considering. But the next step was they told me that they were going to hire a local hire for this role. And at the time, she was just a guest star. She wasn't a regular. She didn't even really have an arc. She was just coming in maybe for maybe 3 episodes, something, a small arc. And I was so pissed because I love the role. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to be a local. I'm going to fly myself out there. I'm going to find somebody I know who I can move in with and call myself a local. And I'm going to see if they could hire me as a local. I'm going to go audition. I'm showing up. And I told my manager, she said, "You can't do that." I said, "I'm doing it. I'm going out. I'm going to read for this." And so sure enough, I went out and they saw some locals and then they read me and I read with Paul and we clicked like crazy. And next thing I heard, they were hiring me. And so it was sort of like a gray area. They hired me as a local, and then in a couple episodes, they were asking me to be a regular.
Wow.
And yeah, then the rest, like I had no idea this would go on for 9 years, but yeah. So follow your heart. I just had this instinct
That's
that
amazing.
I had to
That's
go
so
for it.
amazing.
Yeah.
What a great message, and that you have to go after these things.
Yeah.
And Your synergy with Paul Johansson, definitely. There's so much natural chemistry there that is so amazing to see in the show, and you get such great like sort of dark humor moments as well that sort of carry throughout. I mean, did I assume that those were sort of some of your like favorite scenes to do over the years?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, that you might know better than I do what season that was, but all of the pranks that we were playing on each other. I mean, we just had such a great working relationship. Um, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, he knew I wouldn't take shit from him, and we both respected each other, and we both come from the same sort of old-fashioned school of showing up, completely prepared and running lines. And I don't know, it was just this a- absolute mutual respect for each other. And it was just something very easy. It just came very easy to both of us. Um, I loved it. Oh my God. What season was that? Do you know?
I think it was like maybe
Five?
towards, yeah, or maybe even earlier, like maybe season
Okay.
three, maybe.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. So
The writers just went for it. I mean, it just kept getting nuttier and nuttier, and we loved it. And what I loved the most on probably in any job, and I'm experiencing that right now too, and I love it. I love being in a drama where I'm a little bit of the comic relief. And Deb at the beginning was part of the drama. She was
mm.
pretty darn dramatic. I mean, she had a lot going on. But later on, she became, I don't know, she kind of like went downhill a little bit and became sort of the funny character. And I think that's why people loved her. Um, and she stopped taking herself so seriously, and she became more relatable, and she was imperfect. And I don't know, it was an amazing show, an amazing character, and I miss that character every day.
Well, can I ask you on that? So your character's progression was kind of crazy, like in a great way, but Deb started as very like quite conservative at the beginning in
Yeah,
season
very,
one,
right? Yeah.
like worked away, worked for charity, so on and so forth. And then as it went further on, she became, yeah, like you said, a bit more, all over the place. And was did was that outlined to you like near the beginning, or were they just sort of
I don't
responding to how you were portraying it, or like
I don't know. I think that I have a feeling that Mark and the writers just sort of saw that I was game and that I was embracing some of the wackier moments. And um, I mean, there was some pretty crazy things. I even think some of the scenes were so crazy. I think they were written out. I think the network said no. Um, I think I don't know. I think I got lice at some point. Was that in the show? I
I
don't know.
don't think so.
Um, some scenes were written out that like it was just too much. But they knew I was always game. Like, yeah, come on, more. Give me more. Give me more. I can handle this. Getting on the internet, all the stuff I
Hmm.
was doing, like flashing I was just like, yeah, the funnier the better. And so I think that they just embraced that. And I also think that they saw the way the fans were reacting to it. And everybody always wanted Paul or Dan and Deb to end up together ultimately. And so there was this love-hate relationship, and I think people really, loved them together and hated them together. You know, the last scene. Oh, can I talk about stuff
Yeah,
from the first?
yeah. This is exactly right. You can talk all about this stuff now, and then when Dom
Okay,
comes on, we can't.
got
So
it.
let's talk
Okay,
all about it. Yeah.
yeah. So the scene where he's in bed and they had brought me back to sort of say goodbye by his side in the hospital. That was a really hard scene to shoot because we were saying goodbye to 9 years as well. Um, the director at the time was one of our producers, and I mean, I looked around, everybody was crying. It was really sad. I mean, it's almost a decade that we spent together. I mean, that's big for a TV show.
Yeah.
And, all of us, we were single, we got married, we had kids, all of our families knew each other. I mean, we were all pretty tight.
Yeah, I mean, that's massive. I mean, most people don't stay in a job, a regular job for more than like 2 or 3 years, but to be
Yeah,
almost at a decade, that's
yeah,
massive.
exactly.
I mean, do you have a particular favorite season of the show, like a favorite year for yourself, or is it hard to sort of make that judgment?
Not hard at all. That would be the year for sure, where Paul and I were playing, Dan and Deb were playing tricks on each other. And I don't know which season that is, but um, I remember racing home to look at my script to see what we were going to do next. The scene, getting in the bed with the taser and the phone getting stuck to my ear, and it was just all the comedic stuff. I sort of come from comedy, so to be on a very serious show and then get to do all of this comedic stuff was just a pleasure for me. It was so much fun. We never stopped laughing. And Paul is such a funny guy. Really seriously, well, now, you've met him. Really seriously, right? One of the funniest
Uh,
guys I've ever met. His dry
Hilarious.
humor, and his humor's so dry, he would, just sneak a joke in and then just look at me because he knew I was his audience. I was going to laugh at everything. And we didn't have a lot of like intimate scenes, but when we did have to kiss, it was hysterical. We just couldn't stop laughing. He was a good friend.
Yeah, he's great. He's been a really great advocate for the podcast. Well, did you keep any props or anything from your time in the show, like any mementos that are special?
Dad had some jeans that were amazing. They were my favorite jeans. They were low waisted. They had like a little rip on them, and now they have like three rips on them because they were washed so many times. And at the end, I took those jeans and I said, I am going to always be able to get into these jeans. I'm never going to grow out of these jeans. And I still wear those jeans. I put patches on them. Um, and other than that, I don't know if you know about this poster that I sort of organized at the beginning. It was PR, but it was a photo of all the kids lying back and they're all sort of intertwined. Well, I did the same, but with the adults. So I did it with Craig and Paul and Moira and Barry.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Well, I have stacks of them.
That's
And so I saved those and I thought I'm gonna, maybe I'll give them to you. I have stacks of them. I'm not home, I'm in Toronto, but um, I always say I'm going to do something with those, but I saved them and I thought, okay, this has got to go for a worthy cause somewhere. So
or maybe we could do something to promote it for charity or something.
that would
Because
be amazing. I would love to get those to you.
okay, well, yeah, that would be
Yeah.
awesome. We'd love to do that. Anything for any cause that is special to
Okay.
you, we'd love to do
That
that. It'd
makes
be
my day.
amazing.
I would love that. Yeah.
Well, I have some questions from some of our listeners, if that's okay, and then Dom will jump on in a second. Chloe asks, "What did you think of Deb's character development? Like, as it was going along, like, were you a fan of the direction that it ultimately went in?"
I was 100% a fan. I mean, for an actor, you never want to play the straight guy. And, I got to explore. So she was so multidimensional. But what I loved about her is that you always felt for her. I mean, she didn't become the bad guy. She just went the wrong direction. And I have so many loyal fans out there and I always hear the same thing. I always say, they say, I can relate to Deb. I can relate to her. And I say, oh my gosh, like in what way? That's kind of sad if you can relate to her. But it's just the fact that she's human. And when Deb first started, she was kind of holier than thou and had advice for everybody. Um, she was just a lot more conservative, and then we find out who she really is, and so much more fun to play a character like that.
Yeah, she's great. And it kind of almost is like Dan has made her into this way by mistreating her, but then she
Exactly.
sort of owns it and then, overcomes it. So I think Deb will for always be a fan favorite.
Yes, I think so too. And she's funny, you know, she's funny.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
asked about favorite scenes. I think one of my favorite scenes was when Dan is running for mayor, right? Is that what he ran for? Mayor.
Yeah.
And she comes out in her lingerie smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Hi, honey, when you're ready. Um, it's just that stuff. The writers just knew that I was up for it, and I, it was just so much fun. That picture shows up everywhere. It's funny with the cigarette, it shows up everywhere.
I bet. I bet. Sarah says, how did you feel about your character's relationship with Skills? Uh,
Oh, okay, maybe that was my favorite season. Antoine, we had such a great time together, and his bark is so much worse than his bite. He read the episode ahead. He knew that we were going to get together, and he was like, just you wait, babe. You've never seen anything until, when we kiss, it's going to be like your life is ended, all this stuff. And then he was such a gentleman. I mean, we had to do some pretty intimate stuff, and he was so sweet. And we were the only two, well, Moira did too, but he had a family. He was married, he had kids. And when we got together, that's what we talked about. We talked about our kids. We talked about, you know, going home. He was going back and forth a lot, missing his kids. And so it wasn't as like hot and sexy as everyone thought it might be, but we had a great relationship. Still do. We're still very close.
what his Antoine is actually next up on the podcast.
Ah, that's great.
We're just working out like the dates and everything. But I assume also it was probably a bit easier because sort of famously he was playing down like in terms of his age, that he was like older than like Chad
Exactly.
Michael Murray and James Lafferty, etc. So
Yeah.
it's probably like uh yeah, so I assume that made it a little bit easier, right, than if it was someone
Yeah.
that was a lot younger.
Right, right. It was strange. There was one, this might have been written out too. One season where I end up with, I don't know if it's Nathan's school, but I wake up in a college dorm because I'd spent the night with one of his friends or somebody Nathan's age. And then I walk out and have like the hall of shame where I have to walk down the morning after with all of these college kids. And they were college kids. And I'll tell you, it was pretty awkward. This is like I just had little ones at the time. I didn't have, high school kids, but still it was pretty strange. I just wanted to apologize to everybody. I'm sorry. I know I'm your mother's age, but
I'm pretty sure that wasn't in it, or I am. Yeah, I don't think
I
that
think
must
it
have
was
been
written
written out.
out. I'm pretty sure it was written out. And I think somewhere you can see it though. I remember someone told me it was a deleted scene, but it showed up somewhere.
Well, this I've got to ask a couple of my own questions now. Did have you watched the show all the way through? Like, or do
No,
you find it hard to watch like yourself, or you're okay with that, or
I don't find it hard to watch myself. I
that's
love
good.
watching anything I've done. I feel like I learn from that. Sometimes I critique myself, but I'm really not that hard on myself. I usually like what I do. I mean, it's a silly thing to say, but I'm fine with it. And One
You're,
Tree Hill is so great. I mean, it was written so well and lit so beautifully, and the locations were great. I like watching the show, but I've never seen it from beginning to end. Um, my daughters have.
that was going to be my next question. Like,
Yes. So
yeah,
I have three daughters. Two of them are older, and when they were 12, 13, 14, they watched the show all the way through. I had the videos. Binging wasn't a thing at the time, but they watched it from beginning to end, and they couldn't believe it. They had no idea when they were little that I was going off to work and doing those things. And now I'm with my 13-year-old, Allie, and she's going to start binging it now.
wow, that's crazy. Maybe
Yeah.
you should watch it with her. You
I
could
think
do the
I
joke.
might. I thought about it. I thought that might be fun. We come home from work and watch One Tree Hill. And there were seasons that I wasn't in. So when I see these people, these actors at conventions, and we're all there, I'm like, oh, you were in the show? We never crossed. So I'm
Right.
kind of looking up to see what their characters did or who they were with.
Well, the second part of Sarah's question actually goes into like what you were just saying. She says this is also not show related, but knows that your daughters are into acting.
Yeah.
Was this through you encouraging them to go into it, or were they naturally just wanted to do it, or inspired by you, or
Well, when I started One Tree Hill, my daughters were 1 and 3.
wow?
And um, yeah, one. Um, yeah, 1 and 3. So um, they would come to set with me a lot. Like I said, I was like bound physically to my 1 year old. So she was showing up on set all the time. Um, and they just enjoyed it. Little kids show, cute little girls come to set and everyone gives them candy and up on their laps and showing them around and they see like, the glam of it all and they want to do it. And when they learned to read, they would run my lines with me. And um, we were shooting in Wilmington, North Carolina, and this role came up for a 5-year-old. And the producer said, "Does your daughter want to audition?" And they had never done anything. And I asked her, and she said, "Yeah, for sure." And she auditioned and got it. So it was a scene with Joy. And she loved it. I even have videotape of her sitting in her trailer. And I said, "Are you having fun?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm going to do this. This is what I want to do." Oh, God. And then there was an agent in North Carolina who called me and said, "Can I meet with you guys?" And we met with her, and she sort of signed her, Natalie. And Emily was playing around in the background, 3 years old. And she said, "I'll take her too." You're up for that. Like, oh, God. And then Emily ended up booking a movie instantly. They ended up booking another movie together as sisters, and it just started. And it started way back then and pretty much never stopped. Then I got pregnant, had another baby during One Tree Hill, and pretty much right out of the womb, she started working. So it wasn't, I don't say I didn't encourage it, but I didn't discourage it. It's something they just really wanted to do. Like if your kid wanted to play soccer or be a cheerleader, you would encourage it. And that's what they wanted. And they still really want it. And I put it out there all the time. If this is not something you want to do, you have time. You're young enough. You can change your course. But this seems to be working out for all three of them.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing, and that's an amazing story. And I told you when we were like arranging this that my wife and I were watching Big Sky on Disney
Oh,
Plus. We're still going through it and enjoying it, loving it. Having to go, we're a bit behind, so we're like binging through
yeah.
them. And then as I was sort of doing some research into you, into some of your other stuff that I didn't know about. One of the main leads, that one of the girls, spoiler alert, he gets kidnapped,
Right.
is your daughter. It's amazing.
That's great. So, yeah, she just finished that show. And we have different last names, so people don't always put us together, but we have the same middle names. So sometimes they think, "Oh, are they somehow related?" Um, because I never changed my name, I kept my maiden name. But so she just finished Big Sky. And Emily is shooting Gossip Girl in New York right now,
Wow,
the new Gossip Girl.
that's crazy. We have some friends that Lisa, Michelle, they're ladies out in New York that do a Gossip Girl podcast.
Oh, you're kidding.
So they'll love that. They used to do a One Tree Hill podcast as
Oh my
well.
God.
But yeah, crazy. But I
Yeah.
mean, it just
The same kind of family, the same sort of show, Gossip Girl and One Tree Hill. And so when she was cast, a few magazines, publications reported that, um, it was kind of cool that I was in One Tree Hill. And um, I'm pretty sure they were on at the same time. Or was One Tree Hill a little later? I'm pretty sure they were on at the same time. And they were both CW, right? Yeah.
I mean, the network stuff doesn't really translate over here.
Oh, right, right, right. Yeah,
But
that's right.
and
That's
Gossip Girl, I'm not sure. I'm too loyal. I'm too loyal to One Tree Hill to watch
right.
that.
I love that. I love that. I remember them. I remember sort of being in competition with them. Like that feeling of being in competition. So good. I love that.
Well, and it just shows, I guess, like the talent runs in your family because yeah, she's great on that show on Big
Thank
Sky.
you.
And as soon as I knew that she was your daughter, I can just like see all of the similarities. Like you really look similar.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't want to leave out Allie, who's upstairs. So she's on this new show that we're working on together.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. You're both on it.
Oh, do you have Netflix, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So she's on a show currently called Daybreak.
Okay.
And that's, I don't know if you have that. I know I'm in Canada now, so I can't believe how different our Netflixes are, but yeah, like just the content is so different than the States.
Yeah, yeah. I think we do have that. I haven't seen it, but I'll check that out.
You have to check out Daybreak.
Okay. Okay.
Hysterical.
It's
Yeah.
on the list.
Yes.
Um, okay, Kathleen from Australia asks, what was your favorite experience on the show? So I'm guessing it was like the pranks. But was there anything else that really like stood out as a special experience?
Well, this is another example of, the character sort of going comedic. But Moira and I spent a whole night, we shot all night up on a billboard when we were drawing a mustache on Dan's sign when he was running for mayor. And, Moira and I had a lot of scenes together. Leading up to that point, we had worked together a lot, but we had never done anything fun like that, like it ended up being sort of comedic. And that was one of my favorite nights. And just, Moira and I together as two girlfriends, we just had a great time. Um, so, favorite experiences, I would say that night, working, 7 p.m. call and then working till the morning when the sun was coming up, actually on a billboard. It was a pretty cool night.
That's awesome. April, she asked a question, but you've already answered it. But she also said that one of her favorite Deb moments is when you sort of come home and Nathan, there's been like a big party at the house, and Nathan blames it on you. He says that like you had done it. I don't know if you remember that.
I I have to binge this, but that's so funny. But it was him. Wait, who? Why was there a
Yeah,
party?
it
Do you
was,
remember?
I can't remember the exact because it's much later on, but it was like you hadn't done any of it, but you came home and you were like, "Oh, did I leave the house like this before you went to rehab?" And he was like, "Yeah, clean it up." And then it makes you clean it up,
Oh,
even though you
that is
didn't
so
do it.
funny. I completely forgot. Oh my God, you think you're gonna remember everything, That's
Well,
terrible.
I guess it's a very different experience, being part of it, from the inside, like seeing behind the curtain. It's different. It's probably, these things probably don't stick out the same way as someone viewing it, you
It's
know.
crazy. You spend so much time on the scenes. You memorize it, you read it, you memorize it, you shoot it, you spend days shooting, an entire scene. And then years later, you don't remember a certain scene and you go, wow, that's crazy. You would think you would remember every single scene. And when I see it, I'll remember it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
all the more reason. What's your name, Crystal? Who asked that question?
Oh, April.
April, I am going to, because of you, now I am going to binge the entire show.
And now you have a podcast to accompany it with. So,
I love it. I love that.
Didra says, "Do you have a favorite character on the show that's not Deb, like someone other than Deb?"
I think it has to be Dan.
Of
I
course.
mean, talk about he was somehow able to pull off this horrible person and you love him and everybody was sad to see him go. I mean, absolutely the guy everybody loves to hate. And he was just so believable and lovable. And it's similar to what I'm playing right now. I think I can say this because I think they announced that I'm playing the mayor.
Right. Okay.
Everything sort of comes full circle, and I'm not very nice. But it's always so important to kind of show everybody where you're coming from and sort of give an excuse or a reason why you are the way you are. And I think we all sort of understood possibly why Dan was the way he was. And I don't know. I just like if I could do One Tree Hill over again and play Dan, he would be my choice.
I love that. If there's if there's ever a reboot that goes on, then we're
Yeah,
gonna petition for you to play Dan. I love
I
it.
love that.
Deirdre also asked, how was it to reunite with Hillary and other cast members on the Lifetime Christmas movie?
Oh, it was so much fun. I got a DM, like just, and I don't even check my DMs. As you know, I don't check my DMs very often. I check my texts every 5 minutes, but um, I got a DM from Hillary saying, "Hey, come join us. You know, in a couple weeks, we're going to be doing this movie. Come join us." And I DM'd her back, and soon enough, I was just flying out to do a few scenes for her movie, and we just like couldn't stop talking, catching up, catching up, catching up. She's one of my favorite people in the world, and she's so impressive. I mean, she just does so much. She never stops working as an actress, but she's an advocate, and she's a mom, and she's an author, and she's just a good person. And she has all this charity work going. And she's really incredible. She's the woman who does it all. Um, it was just great, and she was just so gracious, so thankful that I'd come out. Like, of course, I'm going to do this for you.
Well, we haven't watched it yet, so we're gonna watch that at Christmas and then
Oh,
cut and
fun!
then cover it off. But I mean, I think what's like unique to One Tree Hill is the cast are so like special, like phenomenal, particularly like the female cast as well, like yourself, Sophia Bush, Hilary Joy, like all such like strong role models, like of I'm not articulating it properly, but you're
No, I
doing a lot.
know.
Yeah, doing a lot for
Strong women.
charity. Yeah.
Yes, strong women. Um, I follow them all. Thank God for social media because that's how I follow all of them and what they're doing. But it's hard for me to even keep up. I mean, they're just Joy and Hillary, Sophia. Come on, they're just like the power team, and I'm impressed by them all the time.
Well, and it's so nice to have like it's multi-layered One Tree Hill where you had like the older characters and then you had the younger characters, but on all levels it was really powerful, like meaningful stories and
Yeah,
relatable stories. Because like we often say One Tree Hill, it's not like there's supernatural elements to it. You're literally talking
right.
about a show that's based in like a little town, so
Yeah,
it's relatable, but it's because of that, I think people get so invested, like you were saying, and they're invested in Deb's character progression, and it's it can feel more honest, I think.
it's so honest, and it's also just talking about those actresses as people. Um, it's so much fun now to see them going through as parents, and they're married and all this stuff that they're going through what I was going through during One Tree Hill. And I see, it's their birthday, and oh, they're turning the age I was when I started One Tree Hill. If they were to go do a show, they would be playing the mom now.
Right.
It's so funny, and it really truly does seem like yesterday. I mean, obviously not because I can't remember every single scene, but it's it's crazy that so much time has passed.
It's also, I mean, if I was to try and remember something that I did like in my job from 10 years ago,
Yeah,
it wouldn't. I mean, obviously it's different with it's very different sort of levels of memorable things, I'm sure,
yeah.
but
A certain meeting you took or something.
right, exactly. Yeah, it's not quite as impressive, but um Alicia says, what was your first impression of Deb when you read the script and found out about the role, and were you satisfied with the character's development throughout of it?
Well, like I said, when I first read her, I seriously immediately fell in love with her. I fell in love with the writing of the show. I was a big Dawson's Creek fan.
Hmm.
And here's a little surreal kind of supernatural story. Um, I was doing Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in Calgary, and someone had, I'm normally not into these things, but someone had recommended a psychic,
Okay.
over the phone psychic.
Okay.
Okay, a psychic over the phone. Okay, there's $200 down the drain, but you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try it. And I remember lying in my office, lying on the ground, talking to this woman, thinking this is BS, but I'm just gonna put everything into it. And she told me to write down my wishes. And the show was ending. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was ending. Where do you see yourself? Now this was before I was married, before I had kids, and then before I was going on to my next job. And I had written down, I want to work in a place like, I don't know, like where Dawson's Creek films. And I wrote that down. I still have the little pieces of paper. And she said, where do you see yourself living? And I said, somewhere on the beach, which I did during One Tree Hill. Do you see yourself married? Yes, I see myself getting married. Do you see yourself having kids? I see 3 girls. And I wrote all of those things down. And I see, I don't really want to be the lead of a show. I want to be like, 4, 5, 6, so that I have time to raise my kids. And I wrote all of those things down on these little pieces of paper.
That's crazy.
Bucks, done. And as time went on, all those things happened. And the thing that was the freakiest, that, about the whole story was that Dawson's Creek, the same location, some of the same people involved, and playing the mom, like the mom on Dawson's Creek. So I don't even know what the question was you asked. I can't remember. I was like veering off, but
That's
anyway,
perfect.
it's
That's
just,
did you keep her number at least?
no, I didn't keep her number. That's the one thing I don't have. I have the little pieces of paper that I wrote out on my post-its. But yeah, or, manifesting it. I wrote it down. No, I'm going to make it happen. I believe in that as well. But um, yeah, I fell in love with the character, and it did remind me of the writing from Dawson's Creek. I thought the writing was just brilliant. And so, the story, like I told you, I just wouldn't give up. If they were even remotely considering me for this role, I was going to get on a plane and, push myself in their faces and say, yeah, I'm the one.
Oh, amazing. And that's so cool. You should frame that. And like the notes, I mean, and manifesting, sure, but I mean to get 3 girls as well, that's crazy.
Oh, that was insane. But I come from 3 girls, my family as well. We have 3 girls, so I thought, that would be cool. We had a great life, so that's what I want to, and that's what happened.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. So, I mean, being in Wilmington as well. I mean, that's like a massive part of the show. I mean, like it's like synonymous with it, and you get to go, go back every now. I mean, obviously not at the moment, but for like conventions and
Oh,
things.
I
I
love
mean,
it.
how do you enjoy that side of it? That this is a show that is not stopping. Like the fandom is continuing forever, probably.
It's my heart. My best friends are still there. Usually you get your best friends when your kids are growing up. Some of my best friends were handed to me because of my kids. They're the parents of my kids' friends. We've stayed completely in touch and close, and we still travel together. I see everybody when I go back. I feel like I know more people in Wilmington than I do in Los Angeles. I definitely know more people. And I got closer to more people there. I still see some of the drivers from the show. And if you work in Atlanta, North Carolina, anywhere in the South, you usually run into some of the crew who were around during One Tree Hill. So, yeah, I mean, it was the ultimate location to shoot a show.
That's amazing. I mean, so Dom and I were obviously in here in the UK, but we're making it our finale that when we finish season 9, that we're going to go out to Wilmington because we have had people from FWB on that run the charity events.
Good.
So we're
I
going to
need.
go as press.
Oh, good, good, good.
So hopefully, that's going to be in like 2025, but hopefully you may be there and then we can, meet you in real life. But because you
Why do you think 2025?
did you say why 2025? Well,
Yeah.
because we do these episodes one a week, so we won't be finished of season 9 till 2025. So if we went before that, then Dom would probably get spoiled.
Oh my God. Okay. I feel like you have to go before that.
I mean, I want to. I mean, if there's a way that we can do it without him getting spoiled, then
Yeah.
I mean, my wife and I just had a baby as well, so we
Oh, good
probably
for
need to.
you.
Yeah, thank you. We just probably need to give him a little bit of time
Yeah,
anyway.
before you travel. Yeah.
But right, Dom is here, so I'm going to let him in. So
Okay.
this is now the point where we
Yeah, I
can't do
can't say
spoil.
anything. Okay, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. This is amazing.
Wait, so tell me what you've seen. Tell me at what point are you in the show? What's happening right now?
Oh God, I need to try and remember. It's Dan is being super scheming again. So we've got through all of season one. We're now just over the halfway point of season two.
Okay.
Uh, Debs is still a bit unsure what to do with Dan, I think. And Dan is trying to play happy families,
Okay.
and people are starting to realize that he's kind of going back to lying again
Okay.
and playing games and stuff. And Lucas is the one that's working it out, and it's all a bit what's happening here. It's all going to get a bit tense.
Okay.
You
Okay.
you gave him the heart attack and didn't you didn't call 911, and so
Oh, got it. Okay.
But
Okay.
we're beyond that. You were watching him struggle on the kitchen floor of the beach house.
At the beach house. Okay. Okay, got it. I'll tell you a funny story about shooting that day
Ooh.
please.
at the beach house. Um, my little ones were out in the ocean that day swimming with my husband. And right outside the beach house, we saw commotion. Ambulance was coming up on the beach. All this stuff was going on, and we were wondering what was happening. And somebody had been bitten by a shark, like lost their leg or something.
Whoa.
And it was all happening right in front of us, down in the water, like in real time. It was happening, and I knew my kids were swimming that day. So I'm trying to call my husband. I'm trying to call, where are the kids? Where are the kids? Get out of the water. Get out of the water. And he picks up and he says, "Hi. Oh no, no, the kids are out in the water right now. I can't talk." He said, "No, they're way out there." And I said, "Get them out of the water. There's a shark out there and somebody just got bitten by a shark." And he starts laughing. He said, "Are you kidding me? Like, I knew that there was a shark out there and the kids aren't out there." But whenever I think of the beach house, that's what I think about. They were fine. And the person who got bitten was fine. But yeah, a little dicey there sometimes.
That is terrifying.
So
Yeah.
what you're saying is the day that Dan had a heart attack, you almost had a heart
I
attack in real life.
Yes.
Well, can we take now Dom's here, we can go back. So if we go all the way back, what got you into acting in the first place? Like where did it come from? Like were you doing like plays in high school and things, or how did it manifest?
I mean, it's something that I thought I always wanted to do, but so do a lot of kids think that they want to do that. I have always been like this. I get something on my mind and I'm pretty stubborn. Um, but yeah, I mean, I did theater in grade school and junior high and high school. I took voice lessons and dance and, what kids do. When I was in high school, I entered the Miss Illinois Teen Pageant and I sang for my talent. And one of the judges was an agent in Chicago and called me and said, I'm interested in signing you. And I started auditioning. Now, at the time, an actor in Chicago, it pretty much meant you did commercials, industrial films, and theater. I did major in theater. I went away to school and majored in theater. But at the same time, because I was going to school at Northern Illinois, which was only 45 minutes away, I started auditioning in Chicago. And I started landing roles, and I joined Equity and did a lot of theater and little, bit parts and whatever came into town. And it was a great way to start as an actor because I just got a lot of experience and practice before I started landing larger roles in Los Angeles. I felt like I had a lot under my belt by the time I really had to, play with the big boys in Los Angeles. So yeah, that's how it happened. And then I moved out. I did a couple pilot seasons, but we really don't have pilot season anymore. But there were pilot seasons where they would cast all the pilots, and I would go out for pilot season for a few months, come back, do theater, go back and forth, and then I just moved out permanently. The first, I'm pretty sure this is correct. The first professional job that I landed in Hollywood was Star Trek.
I, this
Why
is
did
going
I
to be
know you
my
were gonna do that? Why did I know?
this is going to be my question. I don't know, Simon. Do you know this?
I was going
Oh,
to
so
bring it up. I was going to bring it up to like blow your mind. Dom is a massive Trekkie. If you couldn't,
I somehow knew that. I don't know how I knew that.
you could see it in his eyes, couldn't you?
Yeah.
it's there.
See-
It's just there. I I can binge watch a series like there's no tomorrow, and which I'm not allowed to do with One Tree Hill. I have to watch it every week.
Right, I know. Is it
And
driving you crazy though that you can only watch one at a time?
a
It's
little bit, but I'm actually enjoying it. I enjoy that. But with
been
Star Trek, so
wonderful now.
we've got a plan to do. We've started a Star Trek: The Next Generation podcast, and
Oh,
I got into a mode of just carry on watching just to get as much info back in my mind because it's a couple of seasons that I tend not to watch, and I came across Barbara Allen Woods.
oh my
I came
God.
across your episode and I was like, oh,
Oh my
no, how is that possible? And I got
That's
extremely
so
excited.
great. What a great memory. Brent Spiner. Oh, he's just the best. I mean, it was my first job out the gate, in LA. I'd done other things in Chicago, like I said, but small things, and he just made it so easy, and he was so sweet, and such a great actor. It was a great first job on the Paramount lot. I mean, it's just incredible.
Fantastic.
We're really lucky.
It's bridged both of our worlds, mine and
What's that?
Simon's. It's bridged both of our worlds.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah.
Simon absolutely adores One Tree Hill, and I'm becoming increasingly a bigger fan of the show,
Oh,
and
I
I
love
have
it.
no doubt Simon will love Star Trek by the end of our podcast.
What? How? That's amazing. I love that. We have to talk about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So Dom, I don't know if you're because Dom isn't able to look this stuff up because of spoilers and everything for One
Oh,
Tree
okay.
Hill. But there was a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids TV show that did like over 60 episodes. I am so upset that because I didn't know about this until literally just this week. And Dom and I, we're the same age. We would have been like 10 when that came out, and that would have been like complete perfect for me. Like
That's your demographic, yeah.
I watched the first episode, and it's quite I loved it. It's the perfect like 90s, like
So
it's
perfect,
perfect.
right? I
It,
know.
it's very unique, like in terms of it being like a 40-minute like Disney Channel episode. Like they don't normally, and no laughter track or anything like that.
Right.
I mean, what was your experience on it?
It was done so well, and they really put a lot into that. And it was Peter Scolari. Come on, he's a comic genius. I was always a fan of Peter's, you know, previous shows that he had done before I ever met him. A big fan, so I was thrilled when I found out that they had cast him in the lead. Um, and it was working in Calgary. It was, it was a big show. It was, it was the Disney Channel, and I think toward the end, so it was after we were completely done. Disney Channel wasn't really on the map yet. I think High School Musical sort of put them on the map, and it became sort of mainstream, and everybody had Disney Channel. Um, so I think that if Honey I Shrunk the Kids had happened maybe a few years later, it would have been a lot bigger than it was. But I still have a lot of people reaching out to me about Honey I Shrunk the Kids. And I think it does still stream in the States. I think it's on Hulu. Um, and I think it holds up. I mean, it looks a little bit dated with hair and wardrobe and everything, but I think it holds up. I mean, even the effects.
I really liked it. It's the perfect thing for when my son gets like old enough. That's what I will make sure he watches, so he gets like that proper 90s, rather
Yes.
than some of the newer stuff.
Yes.
Um, but I was reading online this might be going a little bit too in depth here, but because I was trying to find it on Disney Plus because I thought it would be on there, but it's not on there because of some
Are
sort
you
of
thinking
copyright thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was really surprised that it's not.
But people,
Where did you find it then?
you can buy it on Amazon, like
Oh,
Amazon
got it.
Prime. So I like bought the first episode, and then but I like to have the actual. I'm like one of these old school people that likes to have the box set, but the box
Oh,
set doesn't exist. We're gonna work it out though. I'm in the forums. Don't worry.
the box set has to exist.
I couldn't find it. I mean, mate, like on. Here's a good question. Here's a good question, Barbara. I've always wanted to know when you're in a show like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids before, like when you were filming it, do they give you the tapes afterwards so that you can have a copy?
Funny that you ask, but back in the day, I would always have that written into my contract that after once it's, they won't give it to you in advance, but once it's aired, that they give me a copy of it. Um, Actors always like to have demo reels of all the work you've done, and it's so hard to just track these things down sometimes. You have to go to services and pay a lot of money to get like the actual episode, and sometimes they're not even allowed to give you the entire episode, so they have to give it to you kind of cut down. And so I always had it written into my contract that I get every single episode. So I have all of these One Tree Hill, VHS tapes. It's easy to get the One Tree Hill DVDs, the whole library, but I have all of the Honey I Shrunk the Kids on VHS.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that so dates me.
Don't no, not at all, not at all. Wait, don't please never get rid of those. You have to
Oh,
keep
I would
them.
never. I would never. Yeah, I'll send them to you if anything.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
That's his dream. That's what he's getting at here. What have
I
you got?
I still have I still have my VHS player. I still have everything hooked up to my TV at home. I like
I love
sticking
that.
tapes in sometimes.
I love that. Dom, go. I can see it.
I wanted to say, seeing you in that episode of Star Trek and seeing you in One Tree Hill, Barbara, you don't look any different. You look fantastic.
You know what? You have to say that. You
I, I,
have
I
to.
don't. I didn't say it to Paul.
He does look different, right? Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I had kids later in life, so I think they kept me young. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, so if we could talk about what you're doing now. So it's been announced. So you're in they're doing an iteration of Chucky, but as a TV show, right?
Yes, they are.
And
Um,
and Devon Sawa's in it. I just have to throw that in. Dom, Devon Sawa's in it.
yes, I just worked with
Yes,
him
indeed.
Friday night. He's so much fun. Um, I don't know how much I can say about the actual, storyline or anything, but I do play the mayor. I'm quite proud of that. Um, and Olivia, my daughter, is playing my daughter, and
Oh
we're
wow.
sort of the mean girls of the show.
Did you see? That's awesome. I can't wait to watch it. Do you know where is it going to be out? Is it like a Netflix thing? Because I
So
know
it's
they.
the Sci-Fi and USA. So Universal's producing it, and it will air on USA. So it won't be. It'll be. I believe. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be episode by episode.
That's cool. I mean, the only reason I say that is because there was a new Chucky film, like last year or the year before that was on Netflix, and my wife and I watched it, and it was really good. I
The
really
new one,
liked it.
yeah, the new one is really good. And I had never seen all the Chuckies from beginning to end, which is odd because our family just watches everything horror. I don't know how I missed all the Chucky movies, but I did. So when Allie and I were both cast in this, we just sat down during quarantine in Canada, and they take that very seriously. We never left the house. We watched, from beginning to end, and there is such a following for Chuck. I never knew. I mean, it's not just horror fans; it's Chucky fans. I mean, it's crazy because now I follow Chucky. I follow, the whole thing and the origin of him. Like where, You'll learn a lot more about Chucky, let me tell you that, during this show. You'll learn about where he came from and the reasons he does what he does, and you'll understand him a little bit more.
Awesome.
Oh, I
Can't wait.
yeah, it's fun. It's so much fun. I mean, it's fun to, I've worked with my daughters in the past, but never on something so long term. And also we're out of the country together, so we have, our little pod. It's, COVID, so we can't really go out much. So it's just, the two of us. So we just like hang out at home. We do Zooms and we go to work, and we're having a great time.
Have your daughters kind of seen your like career path and all the different things that you've done, and they've enjoyed that, wanted to do it, or have you helped them kind of push them in that way and this is really fun?
Well, it was really, when after One Tree Hill, and the show ended, it was prime time for all of us to book new jobs because the show was such a success, and we had a lot of people reaching out, whatever projects. But by then, my daughters were already working, and I was, determined, if I could, to stay with them as much as I could while they were working. It was just important for me that they learn set etiquette, and that I didn't send them to a coach, that I coached them, and that I was extremely hands-on, and I mean 100%. And so because of that, I had to turn down a lot of work myself, and like mothers and fathers do, I just sort of, committed to them as long as they wanted to pursue this, and they just kept getting more successful. So I sort of kept pushing my stuff away. I was able to squeeze in some things here and there, but I couldn't commit to anything long term. And so when this came up, now my other two are off doing things by themselves because they're of that age, and now Allie's 13, needs me a little bit less. And when they offered me this role, it was just the perfect situation where I can be here with her and I can work full time. And I'm just thrilled to be on a show again, and thrilled. I don't know if you know who Don Mancini is, but he's our showrunner, and he created Chucky, and he's running everything here, and he has so much passion for the project, and Zooms with us. We just got off the phone with him. It's just great. It's a great group of people. I love the horror genre. My character is a little comedic, like I was saying. I love it, and it's just the perfect opportunity.
And how has it been in like a post-COVID world to work? Like, is that
really, I had already heard from my daughters because both of my daughters are working on shows, so they said, it's pretty crazy. It's very impersonal. Like I said, we would have people over all the time, and on weekends you hang out with the people who are on location with you, and we can't do that now. So, and then when you're on set, everybody has the shields and the masks. So it's really hard to communicate in any way. When the director comes up to you, he can't get within 6 feet. So he's sort of shouting his directions to you. So, some of the, I don't know, the one-on-one has gone away, but we've been on set several days, and it's still, the cast chairs, they set the cast chairs 6 feet apart. So when you go back, just having some water and just like hanging out between scenes, you can't even really hang out then. They're just we wear little watches that if you get too close, it beeps to tell you you're getting too close. I mean, they're very serious about it. But then again, you feel very safe. And Toronto's getting worse. So Canada is sort of worse than it was when we got here. So they're being extra careful. But I got my vaccine today.
Hey.
Have you guys gotten yours?
No.
Yeah, young.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're what are they up to, Dom? Like 45, I think.
They're in the 40s bracket,
Yeah.
so we're in a couple of months, I think.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have been so anxious to get it if it hadn't been, I'm on set with so many people and with extras, and we're all getting tested. But at some point you take your mask off to shoot, and here you are feeling so vulnerable because you're not used to being in public with your mask off. I'm sitting talking to Michael, who plays my husband, like right here, and we see each other's eyes, and it's just so scary because for a year you haven't done that with anybody. It's
You know,
bizarre.
it's really funny. So my wife and I went out today, and we took our son for the first time to a restaurant or to like an outdoor pub bit.
Yeah.
And it's all he was asleep. It's all fine, like in the pram. It's all table service. And the guy came up to take our order, and he sort of crouched by the table, and my drink was right there, and like just and I was like
I
moving it
know.
just over here.
It's
Okay.
so unusual, isn't it? It's crazy. We're all going to be germaphobes for the rest of our lives. For sure.
Yeah.
Even if they clear all, and I already was a little bit of a germaphobe. But it's for the rest of our lives. At least this generation, whoever's alive right now, will always be thinking this. Like, stay away, stay away, stay away. Don't get too close.
Scarring. Well, I have a really important question for you. This is maybe one of the most important questions we've ever asked anyone. Okay.
Okay.
Season 2. Chad Michael Murray, he's got a shaved head now. Okay. He comes back, and for some reason, he keeps wearing sandals, wearing open toe sandals. And me and Dom have been having this ongoing debate as to whether did Chad Michael Murray choose this as his own footwear, or did wardrobe tell him that he should wear them? So did you
Are
get
they
to choose your own?
Birkenstocks?
Yeah. That's what they are.
I have a feeling that Birkenstocks were just really in. Wasn't there a phase? There was, I think that they were, if I had to guess, it was Chad's choice.
That's what I said.
But I don't know for sure. But if I had to wager, I would think it was Chad's choice. You know, Craig
Mhm.
Sheffer. Oh my God. I can't think of his name. I can't think of the character's name.
Oh,
Keith?
Keith.
Keith. Okay, so Craig, he just was really into, I guess it would be, I don't know, the 80s. I think he was just into that fashion. And so he always came to set with in his 80s jeans, his scarves. Anything you see Craig wearing, Keith, was Craig's choice. Everything. He drove wardrobe crazy. I mean, he would just say, no, this is what I'm wearing. And my character is stuck in this period of time, but really it was him. And this is what I'm wearing. It's the way it is. But if I had to guess, Birkenstocks were probably in at the time. I remember a short period of time where I thought Birkenstocks for guys, but they were in. And I have a feeling, if I had to guess, that it was his choice. But I don't know.
Told you, Dom.
It's so disappointing to me. So disappointing to me because I see him wearing these what I call flip flops essentially, and such long jeans, and it looks so uncomfortable. I think there's no way he picked that. That must be a wardrobe choice.
Barbara, did you
Ask him that. I'll have to ask him that.
please do? I mean, what did you get to choose your own footwear for Deb, or did they tell you for footwear?
I was very opinionated on my footwear. I mean, they got it for me, but I like wearing heels. I don't like wearing flat shoes in anything. I mean, I could be playing like a nurse and I want to be in heels. I always want heels. I just like the way I stand when I'm wearing heels. And so, yeah, I mean, heels or platforms or something that just gives me height. Um, so I had a lot of say in it, but they brought the shoes for me. I just have a feeling. That's so interesting.
Funny enough, the like Deb's wardrobe isn't something that sticks out for me. And if it sticks out for me, it's normally a negative thing. So with Karen Moira Kelly, she's always rocking the double denim, and I always comment, "Oh look at the double denim." Chad's outfits, I always have something to say about them, and so on and so forth. But Deb, you like the way you portray Deb and the way Deb comes across. It's almost like don't need that. It's not something that comes into my mind because of the impact that you're having on screen anyway. So when Deb first arrives, so I have to make sort of predictions as the seasons go along and as the episodes go along. And right at the beginning of season 1, I'm like, maybe Nathan doesn't have a mum. Maybe it's all like she'll never appear. And then all of a sudden, you're there. And it's like that was like boom, like in your face, and it's such impact. And you're very, the way you deliver lines and everything, and just from everything you do stands out so well. It's almost like the outfit doesn't matter.
But the outfit did matter at first. I hated my wardrobe at the beginning. Like those tan pleated pants that were a little bit, they were nice, but like something from Ann Taylor. I don't know. Do you guys have Ann Taylor?
I think we do. That
Yeah, I
sounds
think so.
familiar.
A businesswoman store.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, and I hope I'm not giving any, but her wardrobe gets much better. Deb's wardrobe gets a lot better as time goes on.
And are we saying that's down to you making those choices?
I had a little something to say about it, yes.
There's a definite shift change from season 1 to 2. You can definitely see that, or even though we're only halfway through.
For everybody, I mean, I think that is the case with any show. And even the show we're working on now, I think we're on episode 3, and it takes a while for people to get in the groove. And oh God, you see an episode, you see like you go in and you're looping something, and you see yourself on screen, and you go, wow, that blue eyeshadow doesn't work. We better not do that anymore. And then people just start looking better. The characters are sort of sculpted. And what works and what doesn't work. And by the time season 2 comes around, people are looking better. Like, let's make some changes here.
Is there any costume that you went, I pretty much picked it, I'm going to keep it, and you've just kept it?
I was saying before you came on, I kept my favorite Deb jeans.
Oh, nice.
And right inside the waistband, it still says Deb. They wrote, we all wore jeans, and we're all like the same size. And so she would write our names inside. And so they say Deb. And I love that when I put them on my Deb jeans.
Just in case Craig Sheffer took them.
Yeah.
Do you have this is sort of off topic of One Tree Hill, but what would you say your top 5 favorite TV shows are of all time?
Ooh, of all time. Wow.
In no order.
Okay, this is really cheesy, but this is reality TV.
That's fine.
My girls and I love to watch The Bachelor.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it's the best show of all time. It might be the worst. But just from my heart, wherever we are in the world, we always get together and watch The Bachelor together.
Nice.
And we've been doing that since it's, what are they on, like the 84th episode or whatever season. So we've always done that together. So that's definitely one. I always loved Desperate Housewives. I just appreciated that it was, this female-driven show, and it was my dream to be on it. And so it was season 6 or something. I think I came home for the summer and got an audition for Desperate Housewives and just landed a guest star role on that. And that was absolutely a dream. See, manifested, put it out there.
Yeah.
We just binged Bridgerton, and my daughter and I were crazy. I'm not saying that these are my favorite of all time, but I'll have to say Gilligan's Island.
Mm-hmm.
Just 3:00 every day, weekdays, I would watch Gilligan's Island. But my favorite of all time is the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. I had all of the episodes on VHS, and 2 of my favorite actors, comedic actors of all time, Mary Tyler Moore and Dick Van Dyke, and then the Mary Tyler Moore Show. So 70s TV, 70s sitcoms, there's just nothing better than that.
And then the other question we ask people now is, what's your favorite bad movie? Like a movie that is terrible and everyone knows that it's bad, but you still love it anyway.
Wow. I don't know if everybody knows this is bad, but I hear bad things about it, but it might be my favorite movie of all time is A Star is Born. Not the new one, but the one, 1980, I think it is. The Chris Christopherson, Barbara Streisand. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's a great movie, yeah.
I think it's a great movie.
Yeah, I like both versions, yeah.
Oh, critically, I mean, you hate it.
My
I
opinion
haven't
means nothing though.
I
So
haven't seen either, unfortunately.
Oh, you haven't? Okay,
No.
because people make fun of me that that's one of my favorite movies, but people say it was pretty bad, but I absolutely loved it.
Dom has a thing where he has no soul or any heart, so he doesn't cry at anything. So that would be it'd be wasted on him. He'd probably
Oh my
laugh if
God.
anything. Sick, Dom, you're
Oh,
sick.
speaking of heart and soul, we're binging Schitt's Creek right now. And we are so late to the party, but oh my God, geniuses. Have you guys seen it?
I've seen bits of it. It's
Woo!
got from Home Alone. I've forgotten her name.
Oh,
The mum.
Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
unbelievable. One of the best performances I've ever seen. So good.
Wow. Okay.
That has to be up there too.
Okay. Excellent. That's on the list. It's on the
Yes.
Netflix list. Have you seen
Yeah.
Daybreak, Dom?
No,
It's on
I've
the
not seen
list.
it. Just
Daybreak.
add it
Okay.
all on.
You've got to see everything my daughters have done now. You have to promise me.
I'm
I
already
need to
doing it.
need to
Dom, you
stop
need
watching Star Trek: The Next Generation, and which I've all seen before. And
Dom, you need to watch Big Sky on Disney Plus. Barbara's daughter is one of the leads in it.
oh, excellent.
Coincidentally, it's insane. Barbara, you have not that you knew, but you're on our whale list. So we have a list of what we call whales, which the craziest people that we could have on the podcast are the whales. So like you, Paul Johansson, Chad Michael Murray, Sophia Bush, and it's been a massive honor to have you. It's like our dream list. So
Aww,
so
that makes
thank
my
you.
day. That's so great.
Well, it's beyond amazing that that we've had your time. So thank you so much for all
Can I
of
get a
that.
picture of us? Here, smile. Ready? Smile. There we go. Can I post this?
Please do.
Please do, yeah. It's
Okay,
the
great.
dolphin. The dolphin got in. This dolphin is becoming podcast famous.
Oh
There's a
my
toy
God.
dolphin that's
Picture,
always
yeah,
in my
it's in there.
room.
It's in there. Got it. Yeah, if you guys can text me all of your social media stuff, that'd be great. So I can tag you on this.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Thank you
Fantastic.
so much. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. And thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute
Oh,
pleasure.
it was so great talking to you, and thank you for doing this. And I don't know if Paul is like, is he watching with you guys? Is he like,
He well, it actually started as kind of like a joke. Like you said about manifesting. I just said to Dom, I said we're gonna get Paul Johansson on the podcast because we were talking about how he's such an amazing TV villain, maybe the best TV villain of all time.
yeah,
And then I messaged him and tagged him in some things, and he just came straight on. And then I asked him if he would reach out to you or pass our message on to you, which he did, which was amazing. And
yeah.
it's all kind of just coming together. But we're trying to organize something. Yeah, we want to organize more things. I mean, our goal is to try and get all of the main cast on our podcast over the run of our podcast.
But when you're watching, do you watch live with the fans?
Yeah, we watch with our listeners. Yeah, like on Zoom.
Watch with them. Is Paul watching with you sometimes?
Not yet. We would like to do that. If you would like to do
I
that,
mean, if you
Barbara.
ever want to do that, I don't know, what if it's not 3 o'clock in the morning for me. I mean, if there's ever a time you want to do that, I mean, I think that would be fun. Technically, I would have to have my daughter help me figure it out, but yeah, that would be fun.
Our listeners would their our brains would explode. But we just do it on Zoom, so we're able to we just play the thing here, and then everyone's just in on the side, and then we pause it every like 10 minutes and say, "What did everyone
Oh
think?"
my God, that would be so much fun. Find an episode that is like heavy Deb, or make sure it's an episode I'm in. That would help.
That would
Yeah, let me know. That would be fun.
That would be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. I mean, we just do this as a hobby, as fans, and to be able to have this interaction with you is mind blowing. It's
Well,
amazing.
you guys are keeping the show alive, and that means the world to everybody on the show. This is not one of these shows where we want to like, oh, let's forget we never did it. We're all really proud of it. So, you know, you guys are like helping keep it alive, and we appreciate you.
Wow, thank you so much, and good luck with everything out there. And I can't wait to watch it. I'm sure Dom, you know, feels the same way.
Well, let me know what you think of everything, and I can't wait to see what you think of the show.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's fantastic, and I know that I'm only allowed to come in halfway through because everything's a big mystery to me.
I know.
But it means so much sort of getting the opportunity to talk to you. Thank you so much. And when we get to season 2, episode 6 of Star Trek: The Next Generation, if you fancy joining us on that would be fantastic.
That would be fun too. I would love it. Yeah.
There we go. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Bye.
Thanks. Been great to meet you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.